Let's go on to Money Monster. Here's a clip.
Right. I want everyone to know something. I might be the one with the gun here, but I'm not the real criminal. It's people like these guys. They're stealing everything from us, and they're getting away with it, too. Nobody's asking how. Nobody's asking why.
I didn't steal anything from you.
Be quietly.
You gotta open your eyes out there. I mean, it's not like the government's no help. How they just look the other way since after they're done stealing our money, they barely even have to pay any taxes on it. I'm telling you, it's rigged. The whole goddamn thing. They're stealing the country out from under us. Not the Muslims, not the Chinese, them.
Hey, let me ask you this.
Shut up, Lee! Shut up! I came here to talk! Shut up for 2 minutes!
Okay.
Jesus Christ. It's all fixed.
That's a clip from Money Monster. Ryan, what's it all about?
So Money Monster is a film directed by Jodie Foster, who's sort of now almost fully transitioned into the directorial game from acting, and this is I think it's a third feature film. So this time she's back with Money Monster, which is probably the biggest of her films, and obviously I've been really, really irritated by the trailer because we've seen it so many times. Obviously,
it's a good trailer though.
It's a really good trailer, but it's just sadly I was hoping I didn't already have like a predisposed like verge towards it coming into it because of that trailer, but like, you know,
it did get played a lot.
Because it did get played a lot, but obviously that's just the nature of what we do. It was never going to sway my opinion of the film, and it turns out in the end, well, we'll find out. So basically, George Clooney plays Lee Gates, who's sort of a bombastic, sort of a really charismatic TV personality.
It's the kind of show we've not really got in the UK.
Yeah, no, we don't really have something like that.
Yeah.
And basically, he's got a popular financial network TV show called Money Monster, you know, title of the film, roll credits, etc., etc., and that's made him sort of like the money was like the know of Wall Street, like the one who's in the know, the one who people trust for tips. However, he's got a big tip which is sort of goes extremely, extremely wrong, to put it lightly, and that makes him sort of, well, I mean, it's sort of a glitch in the system which makes all of that money go, and it sort of just mysteriously crashes, and basically
the money vanishes.
The money vanishes. It all disappears, and an irate investor, played by Jack O'Connell, comes in and takes Gates' crew and his producer Patty Fenn, played by Julia Roberts, whole hostage while they are live in there, and basically Jack O'Connell's character uses that to sort of explain how everything is fixed and how all the money has just been taken from them, and there's a very socio-economical anger within that. Now, I mean, I wasn't expecting this to be as intelligent as it was. I mean, there was obviously going to be a lot to say, but I thought it was going to be sort of very broad strokes.
Yeah.
If that's what I was saying. Like, I thought it was going to sort of deal with its topic in a way that wasn't very subtle. But I feel like, to be honest, by bringing some personal stories into this, it made the film a lot better than what it should have been, to be honest. I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought it was going to be, because you do get the personal stories. You get these two very different sides of the coin. You get Jack O'Connell's character, who is very, very... What?
No, you went different sides
I
of
thought
the
you said
coin.
different as well.
Ah,
Yeah,
right,
just keep going.
Different sides of the coin, who are George Clooney's character, who is obviously the very sort of high up person, but he's got like no family, and you've got Jack O'Connell's character, who's very low down in the sort of social class scale, yet he's got, you know, family, and he's got people who care for him. So it's obviously a very sort of different divide between the two of them, and I feel like if you know, it takes time to spend with its characters to deal with them, to make the whole situation feel a lot more personable. And obviously there have been films similar to this. Obviously something that was I mean, it's got a lot to say about the financial crash of 2008. While it's not set in that time like something like The Big Short was, it's got a lot to say similar to that, about how some people, I mean, and I don't think, and someone else pointed this, Connor, the friend of the show, pointed out this, to that the fact that this film, it deals with issues that have already been said times by other films in the past, but never in a film starring George Clooney and directed by Jodie Foster. So in a film of this scale, it's never been directed by something, it's never been on this scale, so it's talking to a much more broad mainstream audience, and for that you have to give it props. As a film, I feel like it was more entertaining than I was going to expect it to be, and I feel like it's a lot more tense, and I feel like because the fact that it is sort of a three-hander between Foster, Clooney and O'Connell, it has a lot more going on for, and I feel like the tension never really diffuses itself until the final act, which it manages to keep pace with, and manages to always sort of bring you to the satisfying
I would have
payoff near
liked
the
it
end.
more if it stayed in the studio. I think
Oh.
if it had been a self-contained thing rather
Yeah.
than going outside, it lost a bit of steam for me.
Ah.
It let the air out a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, and obviously, as they're untangling this web of lies, trying to find out the sort of the motives, or well, what's really gone wrong with sort of Dominic West's mustache twirling villain Walt Canby, who's the sort of owner of the company who's lost all this money. I feel like it does have enough surprises and enough of itself to be sort of strong enough to stand on its own. It is a really strongly written story that is riding this timely wave of anger, of this whole situation, of a very sort of prescient topic at the moment in the public sphere. And because of that, it's managed to stay relevant and entertaining at the same time. So I think it will stand on its own legs, and it does stand on its own legs as a thriller and as something relevant to the current situation in life. So yeah, I mean, I would recommend it.
I would recommend it too. I think it for everything you said, I think it was entertaining, but I think it let the air out towards the end. I like the performance. I think Jack O'Connell, after a kind of a year out where he's not had any appearances,
He's been quite quiet,
he had
hasn't he?
2014 where he had like those like big performances like 71 and Unbroken. This is kind
Startup
of
too.
This is his kind of return back onto the scene. I think he's really impressive in a different accent as well. Should be said.
Yeah, there you go.
He nails that. I wouldn't have guessed if he wasn't from Derby. And I think like. It doesn't tell it quite as well as The Big Short did, and I don't want to make that comparison because they are very different films. I think if you're going to compare it to anything, something like Dog Day Afternoon, which is very self-contained hostage situation, which is good. And
There's been similarities to him and Pacino's character.
Yeah, there's Network. I think it also has that, and also think about the Black Mirror episode with the pig.
Yeah,
it's the whole film's less about the banking crash and more about the sort of the hype up of the media around these kind of situations. And I like it for that. I like that it's got more to it than on surface.
Has to be given props to the fact that if you feel like it doesn't reach sort of that lengthy ambition, the fact that it is aiming for touchstones like Dog Day Afternoon Network,
yeah,
fair props to
fair
it.
play.
Fair play.
I did like it, and I would recommend it.
I would recommend it. I liked it.